As soon as I arrived, someone said to me, do you want to do table topics? And I said, well, I'm not sure what table topics is, but yeah, just put my name down for it. Because while I'm here, I might as well throw myself in the deep end.
I was very much in the camp of call the person up and then ask them the question, so they had no time to prepare. And I think that's real impromptu. That opinion came from my experience as a project manager in corporate life, where I get buttonholed in the lift by my boss's boss's boss. So how's that project going? You have to make something up on the spot.
This is what we do when we meet someone unexpectedly and they say, how are you? What are you up to? And that's a table topics, although it happens to be at the bus stop or in the canteen.
Put my name down, and I think the first table topic I did was I won it.
I found table topics actually it was the easiest thing for me to do.
I mean, my first table topic was reached into a carry bag and pulled out a bottle of Tabasco on my first meeting. And speak for 1.5 minutes on Tabasco.
You can see people developing. We've got some people who are brilliant at table topics, and some of the people who come for the first time are amazing. It's fairly common for someone to rock up as a visitor and get the best table topics award, and I think that's a great encouragement for anybody to join Toastmasters.
At some point you're going to speak in public and somebody's going to say to you, you've got 15 minutes, and guess what, if you go over 15 minutes the shepherd's crook will come on and grab you by the neck and hook you off. So you better have made your point.
When the yellow comes on, you want to be starting your conclusion.
I want to avoid the embarrassment of having the bell.
Plan to do the timekeeper next, but I'm not quite sure yet what's all the kind of technicality that go with that. So I was told that I can go and sit by the timekeeper once, see what they are doing, and then meeting after that I could do it.
You get some great speeches in the club, and you can get engrossed in a speech and actually completely forget you're meant to be timing it.
I find that challenging because I'm a bit slow on my movements. I hate that role, to be personally honest.
I think the structures of Toastmasters are very subtle. It took me a while to understand just how powerful they were. For instance, the lights are my friend because the lights enable me to manage my time, and I find that the lighting system, the 3 lights, amber, green and red, enables me, I work to the lights as it were to construct my speech, and that helps me to manage my nerves as well as to manage my speech.
He spoke for 55 seconds. Then we had Mary Thomas, and she was talking about her favorite animal, the cat, for 1 minute and 32 seconds. Then we had Chris talking about what he would take on a treasure island, being a compass and a boat to get off of it again. And he spoke for 30 seconds. And to finish, we had Alan Patch, and he was talking about his most impulsive thing ever done, which was to book a flight to Canada, and he spoke for 1 minute and 9 seconds.
The Toastmaster role is a really great developmental opportunity in terms of time management. I mean, I did it a couple of weeks ago and I've been kicking myself ever since about all the stuff I missed out. It wasn't daunting because it's actually quite an administrative role. There's a lot of stuff to manage, so I just went into task mode. I don't know if I was necessarily any good at it.
There is also a way of a process that you follow. Yes, you can go slightly off script, but Toastmaster has a really important role of keeping the meeting on track and managing the whole evening with the help of the timekeeper and so on.
I have to treat it as I'm having a conversation with the audience.
And I think it's a role that you really need to do several times, because the first time you do it, it's quite overwhelming how much you have to remember, how quickly. I tend to sit in the front row and prompt whoever's a Toastmaster if they're forgetting things, because it's very difficult to remember each thing in the right place.
It was surprisingly difficult actually, but also very useful, because I've had to do MCing now at conferences, which is actually very similar to the Toastmaster. You go up on stage every time and introduce the next speaker and ask for questions from the audience, that kind of thing. Actually very similar to the Toastmaster's role, so it was very useful.
With the advent of social media and the brilliant things it does bring, but what it doesn't do is give people the opportunity to actually communicate face to face, or using our voices.
I would plan my speech, and then I would rehearse it and time it at home.
I write down a load of ideas, write down in essence what I want to say. I write the speech out pretty thoroughly, and then I try and commit it to memory.
If you do write it out, word for word in the first instance, you should still try and distill it down into key points for your notes for when you get up on stage. Otherwise, it's difficult to find where you are.
I had a couple of funny bits there, and when I got to laugh, I didn't really know what to do with it. I was excited, but I think I got kind of lost my place then.
The thing is, you have to remember that people that are in the audience don't know what you're going to say next, so it's not a big deal if you forget something, as long as your speech is still making sense.
You do start noticing technical things about speeches as you get more into it.
The pointers they give you, like trying to maintain eye contact, once you do it, you realise it's not as bad as you fear. That you look around, and what I heard, there's all sorts of people at the club that give you little snippets of advice, and someone said, find someone that you're comfortable with, someone that you know, and just keep looking at them. You can glance around but come back to them, so it sort of encourages you.
I say that's maybe good at first, but then as you get more advanced, you don't want to do that, because people will notice that you're paying special attention to one person. So what you want to, ideally, what you should be working towards is to be able to maintain eye contact with each person in the audience for at least a couple of seconds here and there, and move around and try and do all the eyes.
Yeah, I think the club is really friendly, really nice people, and not just nice people, but interesting people, and all walks of life really. And I think the structure is really good, because you have these other roles as well, so you can familiarise yourself with or practice taking a role in front of other people.
Yes, I normally go for a drink or two afterwards. I always tell my other half it would be rude of me not to.
It's nice to get to know the other members.
I have some fantastic conversations in the bar about public speaking, about Toastmasters, and about all sorts of other stuff.
It's a good venue. Everyone's always friendly. There's never negativity there.
The quality of a club is the members, without a doubt. And the good thing about Brighton is it does have new members. It's fresh.
Brighton Hove's a city, and so we get a lot of new people coming. Yes. And so it does give you that feeling. I think if you go to one of the smaller clubs, you feel like you're just sitting there talking to the same people all the time. Whereas Brighton and Hove, you constantly got new people coming through.
You can get 45 people in that room. You can go to another club and there's maybe 6 or 7 or 10. Yeah. So there's a lovely real atmosphere there. There's enough people there to get the adrenaline going, to make it like this is a public speech. There's a lot of people here, and so that's good for me as well.
It's really good. I mean, the interesting thing about Toastmasters is that the members tend to be very different to the people I tend to socialise with otherwise.
It's a good organisation, and I should go on because I want to get those speeches, and it's a nice social group.
I think most people comment that there's a lot of humour in this club.
Yeah.
Lots of people like to add humour into their speeches and to crack jokes. It's quite a laid-back club, I think.
Some clubs have different ways of doing things. Some clubs, we would be very sort of strict and staid and follow the rules, whereas Brighton, Brighton's one of those places that doesn't really follow rules, to be honest.
You can transfer from one club to another once you join a Toastmaster club in the world, and there are of the order of 15,000, 17,500 now. And once you've joined one, you are welcome at any of those clubs.
My New Year's resolution was to do my 10th speech, which is the last one in the manual, in Bangkok.
Yeah, I find the conversations afterwards very diverse, and I think we have got a very eclectic, interesting bunch of people here, and that's partly because Brighton and Hove is such a vibrant city. You know, Brighton and Hove is a very, very cosmopolitan city, and so you get an extremely diverse group of people turning up at our meetings. I mean, in the 3 years I've been there, we've had people from Russia, from Poland, from most parts of Europe, from New Zealand, Australia, from South America, from Japan, from China, from Malaysia, from Africa, as well as from all points of the British Isles.
And some from Brighton.
Being a stutterer, going to a speaking meeting would have been one of my worst nightmares. But now I actually really enjoy it.
If you put in the practice and the preparation and learn from the manual and doing the different speeches, then I say you will enjoy it. You'll overcome that thing. I think it's going to be an awful experience.
A lot of people have skills, and they've got some things they do well and some things they do badly. But you're right, when you hit the zone and you do it, you sort of surprise yourself, don't you? And you realise that actually I could do some good speeches.
And I actually got down from my 7th speech, I think it was that one, and I sat down with a smile on my face, and I suddenly realised I was smiling. And it was the first time that I'd let go enough to actually enjoy being up there.
And I know that when I'm speaking and I'm in that energy, I get inspired.
I kind of started feeling like I was enjoying it, which was really quite promising.
Yeah.
And I saw, actually something we discussed earlier was that if you see a friendly face in the audience, it makes you feel better about it. And there was a couple of people in the audience who were just smiling at me all the time.
The main comment I would make about Toastmasters on the whole is that you get up there and you give a talk in front of a room full of people who are smiling, who are receptive, and who want you to do well. And that's an atmosphere that's very conducive to trying to overcome your fears and get better at public speaking.
Especially I've noticed it in networking, when you do business networking. I'm much more confident, just go and talk to people.
Speaking at Toastmasters has really helped me, and as part of my job, for example, I've had to talk in front of conferences of more than 250 people. I've had to chair round table events, and I've even the other week had to do my first TV interview for a French radio station.
Joining Toastmasters has been, without doubt, one of the best things I've ever done in my life, because it's really helped me in my career. Because when I was promoted to manager at work, I had to start going to give presentations to clients, and I work in the international education industry, so I've been over to like Moscow and China, and especially China. I went recently. I had to go give a presentation in Shanghai to about 35 of our biggest Chinese clients, and that would have just filled me. Well, I just wouldn't have done it before. That's the thing. I would have actually passed up the wonderful opportunity because of the fear of presentations, and I would have let someone else go to China. A few years ago. That's what a difference this has made.